time is not your biggest asset. That is something the world teaches you. Why? Because time is your biggest asset. That's a statement the world is teaching you. It's the same statement as life is short. Why would they emphasize these two statements, which are related? They keep telling you life is short, and they tell you time is your biggest asset. Why? These two statements put you under a spell. Yes, you can fall under a spell if you agree with a statement that goes against Christ. Now, what's the effect of those two statements? Life is short and time is your biggest asset. Just think with me, believers. If you keep telling someone over and over again that life is short, and you put them in a slave system where they need to work from 9 to 5, or all their life source being drained from them, then they will agree that life is short because that is what they experience. And because the statement is validated by their experience, they will see it as natural and as the truth. Even though God gave us 120 years in these temporal bodies, if you follow what society tells you, you will likely reach 70 in a very bad state. Well, if you do the will of God, you will reach 120 in the strength of your youth. You'll be looking like you're in your 20s while you're actually 120 if you do God's will. And you'll be in perfect health when you reach 120. But the world doesn't want you to do this. The world wants to exploit you and have you gone so that you won't be around to complain that they've exploited you. So, to get people to agree with this slave system and to allow themselves to be drained, you need to get them into agreement with the slavery. So if you tell them life is short and the time is the biggest asset, what's going to happen? They will develop a predatory mindset in which they will only value other people as far as other people can do something for them. So you are breeding narcissistic attitudes in people by teaching them those two statements over and over again. So what is your biggest asset? Spiritual knowledge. Spiritual knowledge is your biggest asset. It's very simple. The more spiritual knowledge you have, the better off you are in dealing with stuff in daily life. Someone with zero spiritual knowledge may become frightened when they realize that there are violent offenders around. So they may choose to purchase a gun or to walk around with a knife or to learn self-defense at some martial arts school. And what's likely to happen? All those methods will backfire. If a police catches you with a weapon, you may go to jail. Or if you encounter a bad situation, you will likely use taekwondo, karate, or whatever martial art discipline you're conditioned into. And even if you win the physical fight, you will lose in the long run because mentally you will have to live with the idea that you harmed another human being. And if that other human being dies, as a result, you may go to jail, even if it was self-defense. And even if you don't go to jail, this incident will haunt you for the rest of your life. You will have to process it over and over again. And there is a chance that you won't survive it. You'll end up in a hospital, that you'll have bruises that will be on your body for the rest of your life. You may become paralyzed, or you may even die. So, someone with zero spiritual knowledge have very few good options to choose from because they can't see any other thing. Someone with a little bit more knowledge would realize, you know what, it's better just avoid bad situations altogether. And that's practical. But someone with real spiritual knowledge realizes, okay, even if you avoid bad situations, you may develop a pattern of avoiding any type of discomfort, and that will be a trap because then you remain stuck in a pattern, and by remaining stuck in a pattern, you'll become more vulnerable to predators in the long run. So someone with spiritual knowledge will see that, okay, just avoiding this all the time is a trap, a fatal one. So someone with spiritual knowledge, they will look for a spiritual cover that will bounce off negative energy off of them. Because all violence is the manifestation of negative energy. So if negative energy bounces off of them, that means they can't be the victim of physical violence. Now, violence will be around them, and they may feel the pressure of the violence, but the violence can't come near them. So they'll be walking around at peace and in ease, and people are thinking, huh, how is it individual so at ease? They have spiritual knowledge, and because they use spiritual knowledge, they can go to the supermarket, they can go to work, they can socialize, meet other people. They are far more at ease, and because of that, they can enjoy life better, and they can I would say, they can take more advantage of the opportunities around them. They may even create opportunities themselves. Why? Because they're using spiritual knowledge. Someone who wants to become financially autonomous may think, okay, I need to come with a good business plan to convince the bank to hand me a loan. Or I may need to connect with wealthy people to invest in me because you need cash, I don't, so I need to find a way to get cash. Now, if you have no spiritual knowledge, you'll be writing business plan after business plan, and while you're writing all those business plans, and you'll always be disappointed when your request for a credit or a loan is declined. Or you may get credit, but you'll be stuck with a lot of pressure on you to pay it back. Or you may end up getting people that want to help you, but those are criminals, and you'll be stuck. You'll be used as a money laundering machine. That will also endanger your life and the life of those around you. Or you'll end up frustrated because nothing works out and you become cynical and bitter. But if you have spiritual knowledge, you will realize that it all depends on the spiritual forces that are available to you. So now you will use those spiritual forces, and people will be drawn to your products, and they'll purchase your products, and they're not even aware of it. You realize that everything in life needs to be forced. Everything in life needs to be forced the right way for it to work. Nothing just happens out of itself. So then you will use spiritual forces to make people want your products. And because of that, you now have a security because there's an income, because spiritual forces at work for you. You realize that you can't achieve that by your own merit, so you use spiritual aid for it. And because of that now, you don't even need a loan. If you do get a loan from a bank, the bank will see there's activity, so the bank won't ask for the loan back because they see there's activity. So when you have spiritual knowledge, you can achieve a lot in a short period of time. That's the truth. Now, there are people using spiritual knowledge for wrong, but they know that will backfire on them. So spiritual knowledge is your biggest asset, because once you've received it, you can't lose it. You can never unsee what you've seen. You can never lose spiritual knowledge because it transforms you. And it enables you to do far more with less. So stop saying that life is short, and stop saying that time is your biggest asset. Spiritual knowledge is your biggest asset. And when you use it all to serve Christ, why would you ever want the false promises of the world? Be at peace.